Hey. So I'm back from seeing Spider-Man Far From Home, okay? And it was a pretty good time, It was a good time. Just fair warning, there's going to be spoilers, okay? I'm going to talk about things because, there's no point in going over the movie without talking about the movie. So general impressions, you want to know, like, before spoilers, general impressions, solid 7.5 out of 10. It was a good time. Jake Gyllenhaal's fun. The whole movie is a good, lighthearted time. The whole point of the movie is levity. Okay, spoilers starting now. Shield's back, Fury's back, and they're in Mexico, and they're looking at tornado people. Okay, we got tornado people, and they're whooshing around, and they're doing their thing. But then the Mysterio shows up, and like that's how Shield gets, and then it cuts to Tony Stark, his face, and it's doing that. And that song, and it's like showing all the people who died from Endgame, and it's just like, this is exactly what I meant by the levity thing. Like, the whole movie is levity, and that's a good choice after Endgame, okay? Because like Endgame, Infinity War were heavy movies with sad endings and bittersweetness and I can kill myself faster contests. So this movie is a breath of fresh air, but is it the best fresh breath? Is it the best fresh air? Is it the best breath of fresh air? I don't know how many people's air you've breathed in, but it's not good. It's not good to breathe in too many people's air. It's like carbon dioxide or something. Is it monoxide or dioxide? It doesn't matter. Don't breathe in other people's air, first of all. That's what we're going to start with. What was I talking about? And Peter likes MJ right away, like right off the bat. He's just talking about how he likes her, and I think that that's a good change of pace out of, we don't need a whole thing of him like getting to know and getting to like her and everything. So good. We're just getting the ball rolling, and that's good. That's what we need. And so we need levity, and we need to just move on and see what comes next after Endgame, because this is the first movie after Endgame. It's supposed to say some shit. Okay, it's supposed to give us the status quo of the world. It's supposed to give us a kind of an idea of I guess it's mostly supposed to be an epilogue as opposed to any of that. So who knows? But there's this really fucking funny scene, dude, where the teacher's just talking. They're on the airplane. They're just going on a field trip. You've seen the trailers. I don't need to go over this. But so they're on the plane to go on their trip to fucking I think they go to Venice first. And the teacher's just like, my wife said she blipped out, but no, she just left and went on another man in 5 years. And it's like, oh my god, this character was funny in the last one, but they really spend some time with him in this one. It's funny. He's a funny dude, so I have a good time. And there's so many memorials of Iron Man everywhere. They're all over the place. The movie. It's not like too much in the movie, but like there's like a whole wall of Iron Man behind Peter at one point, and it's just like. It's like, and it never gets focused on either. Like, it's the thing, it's just sort of like this. I noticed the colors of red and yellow in the background, like, a lot. And I was just like, oh, that's Iron Man. And then I just noticed it's like a bunch of kindergarten drawings of Iron Man. And it's like, oh my god. Aunt May is a terrible guardian. I also want to throw that out there before I move on. She's dressing him up and parading him around, like, out there, to in front of people, just being like, hey, take pictures and everything. And she's like, I feel like they've never had a conversation about what happened, about him dying, about him coming back, it feels like they had no talk about it, and that they just sort of like went on. And it's like, all right. So saying May is a terrible guardian is 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 a little too much, because I do like her knowing about his life, and I like Peter's little posse that he gets in this movie, but because all that's good. I like all that. I like so she's not a terrible parent. There's a lot of cute scenes at the beginning of this movie. It takes its time and shows you, Pete and MJ just sort of looking at each other, and there's like a lot of really pretty shots, and then Hydro Man shows up and he starts attacking Venice, and what's really cool is I watched the Spider-Man cartoon as a kid. I'm that age group. I watched that show. And so Hydro Man obviously had like some big arcs in that show, especially having to deal with Mary Jane and everything. So it was cool to see him in this as not realized as he was as a person. But they do kind of, Flash reads this thing and he's just like, yo, fucking, there's a dude. This is Hydro Man. And everyone's just like, yeah, no, Aliens is a better story, so we're gonna go with that. And during the Hydro Man fight, one thing I really want to praise is all the fighting takes place in the daytime, so it's just like, thank God I get to see, after just seeing Godzilla and Endgame and everything, it's just like I want my fights in broad daylight, and that movie Midsummer or whatever coming out, like it's I've been wanting to do this. I've been talking about this forever, but horror in the daylight. Action scenes in the daylight, it gives you, I love the horror where you can like see what's coming, like, you know what I mean, like it's like this is with the characters or whatever, and you can see it, or sorry, the character's like here, and you can see whatever it is down here, and it's just getting closer and closer, and there's like nothing the character can do about it. I love shit like that. Okay, so it's like you could see it coming and there's nothing you could do about it, and so hopefully Midsummer is capitalized. Is that out? I don't think it's out. But so being able to see this fight, you get to see all the water effects, and they're absolutely fantastic water effects. They do such a good job making the water look like it's moving on its own, and then Mysterio's energy clashing with it with all the mist and everything. It's just like they did a really good job. And I noticed at the end during the credits there is a ton of fucking visual effects artists in this movie. So all of you guys, good job. Like straight up. Like that awesome work. Some of the best water I've ever seen. After that, I think it's after that, Nick Fury just sort of shows up in the fucking bedroom and does that scene from the commercial where he fucking knocks out Ned and he's just like, yo, what's up? And the whole movie, well, I guess, it's funny in hindsight, but I already said spoilers, so Nick Fury feels off the whole movie. If you've seen the after credit scene, you know why, but he just seems a little weird. But basically, he's just like, I needed you here, and you showed up here, so let's get to business. And he kind of ropes Peter into doing this thing, and it's literally like this, the other line from the trailer is just like, I think Nick Fury just hijacked their summer vacation, which, that happens later on, but, and so basically as Peter's going through all these different, locations in Europe, he's being either by choice, by school vacation, or being knocked out and being taken somewhere, or having a fight take him somewhere. Like by a whole bunch of different means, he ends up in a whole bunch of different places. And the soundtrack to this movie is really fucking great because of it. They have so much different types of music here, and I was just listening in the background of a scene. They didn't focus on the music at all, but in the background of a scene when they were in a certain country, it was playing just music from that country. And so it was really refreshing to see that in such a popular U.S. blockbuster. It's so weird to see Peter Parker outside of New York, but I would have loved to have seen him in more cities. Seeing him in Venice was cool. Seeing him in London was cool, but it would have been really cool to see him in like Dubai or someplace that has really, or Sydney or something. Someplace that has really, really cool architecture. Or something like that. I also really want to see him in the jungle, but that's neither here nor there. The ties to Spider-Man International are also very interesting, because not only is he globe hopping, but he also is becoming more like Tony Stark in this movie, and that's all about what Spider-Man International was. So it's like it's weird being a fan of both the comics and the movies for so long. I could start to see where they like they're starting to take and share with each other, and that's, in the long run, that's a good thing, because it'll only help them grow. But like in the short, like with Guardians is the perfect example. Bendis's Guardians was not very good because it was trying to ape the movies, and and continuity issues and writing adults like they're teenagers. I digress. This is not about that. So Peter's in his spy suit and he's flinging around. There's this weird carousel joke where he's like on the carousel for like half a second too long, and they like hold it as if the audience is supposed to laugh, but I didn't get the joke. So maybe that's just me. Maybe there's a joke I missed. Maybe it was just weird editing. Maybe it wasn't even supposed to be a joke. I don't know. But basically there's this fucking fire elemental that's Fire Hydro Man, whatever the fuck it is called. And he gets burned. Shit. And he gets burned and by Mysterio and Spider-Man. They shut him down. And Spider-Man's just like, here you go, man. You get these. Tony Stark gave them to me. But I like this girl and I'm really fucking stressed out about going to space and dying. But it's like I was just about to rag on how it's not, he doesn't explore it enough like in conversation, but he's a very emotive physical character, so he kind of expresses through action, so I feel that. So basically he gives him his fucking glasses, Peter leaves the room, and then the room starts to fucking disintegrate, and Quentin Beck is just like, oh, I did it, oh, and he does this great fucking speech where he's just like, that was bullshit, and it's all thanks to you, and you. And it's a great scene. It shows Quentin Beck as a character, like it is his character captured to a T. Like he's not a movie effects guy. He's a old Stark scientist, and they like do this great scene where they like go back to old Marvel scenes and show you different perspectives, and they show you Jake Gyllenhaal in the corner and he's just like, fuck you, Tony Stark, fuck you so hard, bro. And there's like a bunch of other scenes just like that. It's great, and I really like that twist. It was a good time, but there was also like this weird music going on that scene during like the whole time. It was like I literally just got back from seeing the movie, so I actually can't recall it right now off the top of my head. But it was weird, and it fit the tone, but it was weird. And then there's this amazing time passes, you know what I mean? If you've seen the movie, if you don't care about spoilers, Spider-Man figures out that Mysterio is causing these illusions because during the fight with the Fire One, he knocks out one of the drone things that was causing the projections, because all these are caused by projections. It's drones. Actually, I don't know if the drones come later, but he's causing the illusions, basically. Peter finds out how he's causing the illusions. Well, actually, MJ figures it out. Well, she finds the thing, and then it happens by accident. But basically, because of this, they gotta fight. Okay, so there's this amazing fight scene between Mysterio and Spider-Man that's just like the old cartoons and video games. Like shit's dropping out of nowhere. There's like weird props. He's trying to swing and he hits a wall. He's trying to fucking like punch something and he punches a wall. It's usually walls, and and it's just a real great thing. And you see like Mysterio, he's got like he's in like a movie special effect thing. I just felt myself out there. Where he's in like a movie special effects thing where it's like the checkerboard thing, but he's still got the dome, and he's got like these two drones on him at all times, like casting the illusions. It's really cool. It's like he's this like mastermind, which is like it's a great amalgamation of regular 616 Mysterio and the Ultimate Mysterio, and who a lot of people dislike. I thought he was creepy as fuck, and I dug his look. Mixing the two was a pretty good idea in my opinion, you know. Also, you know, shout out to Night Monkey. That was fantastic. I love that joke, and I love basically Mysterio goes out, and he after he gets the glasses from Peter, he goes out and decides to create an Avengers level event. And it's just like, I love the lingo like that. It's like straight comic book. It's straight comic book fan lingo. And it's really nice because it's working its way up to that, like, people in the comics say like, oh, this is an Avengers level event, or like in One Punch Man, for example, how it goes like, this is a whatever level threat, and then it's demon, and then it's monster, and then it's god. So like they have these like in-term things because in universe terms, because shit's happened before. And so now the Marvel universe is at the point where it's just like, okay, now we can, as characters in the universe, we can write it so that they can actually have a reference point for how like strong something is. That's pretty cool. I like the in-universe lingo there. And so so he starts this fucking thing, and the storm's attacking this bridge with Peter's friends on it, and Illusion Mysterio shows up and he's fighting the thing, and like there's the editing is so good in the scene because you have all this stuff rushing around, and it cuts back to the Mysterio fighting the weather thing, and you just hear him in the background go, "This is for my family." It's like so over the top. It's so funny, and it's really, really cute. And not cute. What the fuck? Delete that. It's really, really funny, and just it got a good laugh out of me. Okay. And then basically Maria Hill shows up and she's got a rocket launcher and she's like, and she blows up this drone, and Spidey does this really fucking sick maneuver in a narrow hallway where he just takes out all these drones and beats the shit out of Quentin Beck, but oh no, it's an illusion and there's a gun, but no, he kills him, and he kills himself actually. I think that's what happens. Yeah, he kills himself. And just like the Green Goblin. But I like that they didn't make him sympathetic. I like that he was just a piece of shit. That's just what Spider-Man villains need to be sometimes. I mean, sometimes they could be sympathetic, like, you know, Craven or the Rhino, or like, you know, the Raimi Doc Ock. But I really like it when they're conniving and they hate Peter and they're just remorseless people. I dig it. I dig it when they're like that. But all of that aside, it was a pretty good movie. And now I'm going to talk about my biggest complaint. My biggest complaint is, that this movie is a lot of levity, but so is Homecoming. And I feel like this cast lends itself to quirky antics, you know what I mean? And it's great, and I love it and all, but I feel like this Spider-Man is much more shallow than every other interpretation of Spider-Man film that we've gotten. The Raimi movies had a lot of heart, even though they were campy as hell. And even Amazing Spider-Man 2, which people shit on that movie all the time. There's great chemistry between Peter and Gwen, and that lends itself to the tragedy. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they have such good chemistry makes it so the fact that she dies and that whole narrative thing, it carries weight. And the acting, there's a lot. It's emotion filled. You know what I mean? The story in itself is inherently like, well, regardless of the delivery, the story itself inherently carried this weight. And I do not feel that weight in this series of movies so far with Tom Holland. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just a thing. And, yeah, with that, that's the movie. I love it. I liked it. I don't love it. I liked it. It's cool to see Spider-Man. It was great to see Spider-Man back in New York at the end of the movie. I'm not going to lie. It was like, well, I think the reason for that is another reason why I wanted him to be in other cities with great locales, is because I wanted more shots of him doing, like the shots of him swinging through New York are so dynamic and so intimate in the way that, like, even in this movie where he was going through the high rise with the plants on it and everything, it was just like this cool wind and shot of him, and he comes into the thing. There was no shots like that really in any other place, any other city that he was in. So, I like the all around the world idea. I feel like they didn't capitalize on it enough. And that was a great movie. Oh yeah. This has been TeoTalks. And as you can tell, I talk a lot. So like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it, and if you want to see more. Okay, yeah, bye.